They have new McDonald's out there that are completely operated by robots. Instead of having, 12, 15 employees that are incompetent and don't know what they're doing, you have robots that do it perfectly, and then you have one robot technician that takes care of the robots. That's it.
Wait, there's a robot that takes care of the other robots?
No, 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 no. I'm saying like a human, a human.
Uh, I
I'm
thought there was
saying
like
a
a
human.
master robot that took care of the other robots. What's going on, leotards? It's me, Jesse Lee, and thanks for tuning into the show. I can't believe that this is the only podcast in the world that interviews your favorite bands and artists. You'd think there'd be other ones out there that exist, but they don't. They just simply don't. I've checked. This is the only one. So it's a good thing you're listening to this one, right? Speaking of listening, wherever you're consuming this podcast, whether it be, YouTube, Spotify, what have you, consider throwing it a subscribe or a follow. It really helps out the podcast. It's free to you. It doesn't cost you anything. You can consider it your good deed for the day. So if you're only going to do one nice thing today, you selfish son of a... Make it following this podcast. I recommend that be your move. Even if you are hate watching this show right now, throw me a hate follow. I'm going to take whatever I can get, honestly. This week on the show, we got Fronz. I don't know why I say we. There is no we. It's just me. It's a one-man operation. But I've got Chris Fronzak from the band Attila on. We chat about their new music, his presidential run, how he still wants to buy Warped Tour, his new gum company, some beefs he's had in the past with other metalcore and emo frontmen. If you dig this episode, or even if you don't, and you decide to share it on social media, make sure to tag me so I can reshare it. We can get a little share reception going on. You can also send all your love notes and D-pics to @JesseLee on TikTok and Instagram. All right, let's dive into it. Oh, wait, you live like next door to NSYNC or something, right? Down there?
Yeah. Joey Fatone lives across the street.
That's what it is. That's so random. Did you ever see like Justin Timberlake pop in and like with his fedora or anything?
Not really, but like basically like the house Joey Fatone lives in across the street from me is where like the crazy ass like MTV Cribs episodes were filmed because
Oh, no shit.
Joey Fatone's house has like a multi-million-dollar pool with like the grotto and the waterfalls. So
That
it's
rules.
like imagine like being in the 90s and you're watching MTV Cribs and it's like, yeah, like 15 bitches in the grotto. We're in sync. It's like,
Yeah.
that's where it was filmed across the street from me.
That rules, dude. So I like to start these off with a spicy question, something polarizing, to just divide the fans right off the bat, okay?
All right.
Jack Black, is he hilarious or is he annoying?
Jack Black is hilarious. I love him. He's a legend.
Hey, right? I don't understand the hate. I don't get it, man.
I didn't even know people hated Jack Black.
Oh, yeah, dude. I don't know if it's like when he started doing like kids movies or something, but like people just started getting on the shit train of Jack Black, saying he's like annoying and he's just
Is
over
it
the
because
top.
of like the Peaches song or something?
It started before that, actually. I think back when he was doing like Kung Fu Panda and stuff, people started like giving him shit about it. Like,
No, he's a legend because
I
he's
know,
a
right?
badass at his
Yeah.
core. Like if you know him, he's a badass at his core. So who gives a shit if he's making
Right.
kids movies? He's sick.
He's the only dude that can do a cock push-up, man.
Exactly.
All right, well, we're in agreement with that. We're on the Jack Black train. Good. So, dude, you have so much going on right now. I honestly don't even know where to fucking start. Like with you, because there's so many different projects. Are you still running for president? Is that still happening?
I'm still running for president. My campaign manager got really sick. He actually got cancer. So,
Oh,
sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
no,
Why
no.
did I laugh at what?
That'll change the dynamic of the campaign. That's for sure.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I laughed. That's like really horrible. But he's gonna be okay. It's
Yeah.
not like really serious, but he's just prioritizing his health, and that's kind of, he's my campaign manager. He's the one that inspired me to become the president. So he's dealing with cancer right now, and I know that he's just. I just told him, don't worry about me. Worry about your
Yeah.
health.
Right. What year were you campaigning for?
The next election. So I make the cut by like exactly 2 months on the dot. 'Cause
Okay.
you have to be like 35 by like January 20th or
Yeah.
36th, and I'm literally I barely make the cut by like 60 days or less.
Nice. Now, doesn't that just like feel like it'd be like a pain in the ass though to be president? I feel like that'd just be like such a headache.
Honestly, yeah, it does seem like it would be a huge pain in the fucking ass to be the president. However, everything in my life is a huge pain in the fucking
Right.
ass. So it's like, what's any different? Like, everything in my life is fucking stressful, but it's
Yeah.
all shit that I love. So fuck it. Let's add some more stress. Let's become the president and just figure shit out.
All right. So let's say you win, which I think you will. I think you got a great shot. You win. You're president. Are we still playing deathcore shows? Are we still touring and doing all that too?
Yeah, of course.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll be on tour. I'll just be, riding in Air Force One, and
Yeah.
we'll only be able to play venues that have a runway for my jet to land in.
Right.
And
Yeah.
all my private security will be on stage with me.
Yeah, you could do like your presidential addresses like at shows, like you could be on stage, like you do your whole speech, like talk about the economy, whatever, and then bust
The
into a
amount of
song, man.
the amount of like Fronz for president fucking signs that were held up at our last tour was insane.
Yeah.
So the support is there. I think our last tour was like a presidential campaign, so
Yeah,
a lot of people were really excited about it.
that rules, dude. It should also I don't know if you probably already thought about this, I'm sure, but like some kind of campaign rollout that ties in with like an album release at some point, like like the album art's like themed with you being president or something. That'd be pretty dope.
Just a huge American flag backdrop, and
Yeah.
just middle fingers on the front.
Fuck yeah, dude. We got my vote, man.
Thank you.
So the new company I want to talk about. This is super cool. For anyone that is not aware, Fronz has a new gum company called Jaws with a Z. There it is. Yeah, I love the packaging, by the way. That's so cool. Just right off the bat, the packaging rules.
Thank you so much. I came up with the idea. I love branding, so I came up with it.
It reminds me of like that Take 5 gum from back in the day, but just like cooler, I like the
Yeah. So I was always inspired by like the bomber logo that they used to do on like the old World War planes. So I wanted to use like that bomber logo that was on the side of the fighter planes.
Okay.
And I just liked calling it Jaws. Like, I don't know. I came up with the vision and the idea and the concept 2 years ago. And it's just been crushing it, man. This is my first Amazon business. We're literally less than a month deep. We're only like 2 weeks deep or 3 weeks deep, but it's been crushing. We're number one for jaw defining gum on Amazon, and I think we're in the top 70 of gum worldwide right now. So
Fuck, man. Top 70 of gum. Like that's like
yeah. I know there's not
metalcore
like
and gum. You're at the height of both, man.
there's not like a Billboard top 100 for gum, but if there was, I'm in it.
What is what's the idea behind jaw defining gum? Like can you okay, just start from the beginning. How do I make my jaw better with gum?
So essentially, this all started 2 years ago because I got an ad for that Jawser thing, which is like the piece of plastic cube that you chew.
Which I thought was bullshit. I didn't think that was a real thing. I thought that was like
I thought
fake.
it was a joke. I thought it was a prank. But this company is making millions and millions of dollars.
Jesus.
So when I saw that, my brain just starts stirring, and I go, why would anyone want to chew a fucking piece of plastic when they can chew gum that does the same thing? So we spent many months creating a formula for the gum where it does actually work out your jaw. Like you'll feel your jaw burning when you chew the gum.
Damn.
And it's like you don't have to chew a piece of plastic and be like, what's that guy doing? Why is he chewing a piece of plastic? It's just gum. You can just spit it out and chew another piece. So it just made too much sense to me. And it took a long time to formulate. It took a long time to produce, but now here we are, and it's crushing. And I'm excited to see how the rest of the year goes.
So is it essentially just like super super tough ass gum that like just never disintegrates and just like was really just tough to chew?
Precisely. And it's not tough. It's not tough in the sense that it's stale. Like, you've had stale gum before where you're like, oh, this is hard because it's like old. You need to throw it out. It still has like fresh flavor and it tastes delicious. It's just it's just harder. So you actually like if you try to close your teeth together, your teeth won't touch. It's like
Damn.
yeah, it's
So
sick.
and it actually makes your jaw like more defined. Like, how does that even work? Like, it just makes the muscles stronger or something?
Yeah, because the muscles in your jaw are what you use to chew gum, and you literally feel them burn, just like if you were doing squats or bench
Yeah,
press. Like you feel these muscles start to burn after about 10, 15 minutes of chewing.
that rules.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many like sex tie-ins with this too. Like, there's gotta be like a lot of like innuendos for putting shit in your mouth with
Oh yeah,
Attila.
I've had a lot of weird messages like I just bought this gum for my girl so she could be the throat goat. I'm like, good luck, 'cause with that strong ass jaw she's gonna have, she might just bite
Yeah.
it clean off, brother.
Did you have like, was it challenging at all at first to get people to take it seriously? Did people think you were fucking around like it was a joke at first?
No, to be honest,
Nice.
I don't think anyone thought it was a joke. I think people were just confused because at first we just had like a picture of the pack of gum on Amazon, but it's
Yeah.
sold in a 10 pack. So people are like, why the fuck would I pay $25 for a singular pack of gum?
Mm.
And then it was like, no, 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 no. This is a box, a 10 pack box. You get 10 packs of gum for
Man.
$24.99, and it's a 4 month supply. So we kind of had to reconstruct and figure out a better way to kind of explain it and change
Oh
our
yeah.
images on Amazon. But that was the only like obstacle we encountered.
That rules, man. Is this, did you, so since it's like a kind of like a food product, like did you have to go through like FDA stuff or anything like
Sure
that?
did. Yeah,
Oh
so
wow.
when our gum arrived on the market, we had to have an FDA agent there to approve it, and
Mm.
it's just another like fee in starting a business involving food or anything you put in your mouth. You got to get it FDA approved.
Yeah, because I mean it's weird too, because I feel like there's a lot of I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure like supplements for some reason don't have to be FDA approved. Like you can get like
Really?
yeah, like certain like vitamins and supplements because they're not like I can't remember like what there's some kind of loophole where there's because there's a lot of like those supplement companies that don't have to go through the rigorous like procedures that like you would if you were like trying to sell somebody a steak or something like that, you know, because it's
Huh.
not like yeah, because like it's just like I don't know, it's not like sanctioned the same way or something. But yeah, I know because that's why like a lot of people call like certain supplements like snake oil basically because it's like there's no way to prove that it works or not because there's no third
Yeah.
party testing and shit. But at least something like this though is cool. Like you can physically see if someone chewed this for like 3 months, you'd be like, oh damn, like you know, you can actually see the
Yeah,
improvement.
exactly. And I'm telling you, my favorite is watermelon, and watermelon is a little bit tougher than the mint actually because to create mint gum you have to use mint oil, and the mint
Mm,
oil kind of tends to break down the gum. So mint is a little bit softer. This is pretty tough. So if you get
nice.
watermelon and you chew it for 15 minutes, you are gonna feel your jaw fucking
Yeah,
burn. Like it is real. It's not a joke.
that rules. Watermelon is an underrated flavor as well. I feel like there's not enough
It
watermelon
is.
things.
Artificial watermelon
There you
flavor
go.
is my favorite of all time. It's so fucking good. Watermelon Jolly Rancher, watermelon White Claw,
Yeah,
watermelon Jaws. It's so good.
so good. Speaking of White Claw, did you see they're starting to they're offering a non-alcoholic version of White Claw they're trying to
I saw
produce?
that, and
Which is that just seltzer water? Like
yeah, first of all, that's just seltzer water, super lame. Second of all, super genius because when did they launch it? They launched it in dry January.
Oh, I didn't even
Genius.
put that together. Oh
Genius,
shit.
dude. They're
Ah.
genius. They figured it out. They probably could have launched it in November or December. You know, they already
Yeah.
had the product. They
Mm-hmm.
launched it in dry January, right the first week, and put it on shelves.
That's smart. And yeah, you know people are gonna buy it because like, I mean, even I do that shit with like liquid death sometimes. If I'm at a show and I know I've had like way too many beers, I need to chill for a minute, but I still want to feel like I'm having a good time. Like I'll grab one of those liquid death cans because it feels like you're
Oh,
drinking,
they're
you know?
great.
Yeah.
You want to know one of the biggest like I've taken so many huge L's in my life, but Liquid Death, before they were ever in a store, before they were ever known or popular, they sponsored me and they would send me cases all the time.
Oh,
And I
nice.
told them, I was like, hey, I really want to be involved in the company. I want like, a little tiny chunk of equity. I want to work with you guys. And basically they said that they weren't offering any sweat equity for like influencers to advertise, but I could buy in. And
Mm.
at the time I was like, I don't really know what like water that looks like it's in a beer can is gonna do. Like, I love the idea, but do I want to chuck like 50 grand into this concept? Like, I don't know
Right.
if that's viable for me right now. But then flash forward, and this was like, 8 years ago. Now it's in every fucking store in the world. It's everywhere. It's worldwide. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, if I would have just rolled the dice and taken that risk,
Yeah.
I'm sure that my investment could have been worth like basically 100 to 1,000 times what it's worth, what I would have put in. So,
Probably.
you live and learn, and sometimes people are afraid to take opportunities, which, sometimes you got to
Well,
just jump off the bridge and go for it.
yeah, somewhere out there's a dude that passed on like bottled water as well. It was like, water in a bottle. Is that really gonna do anything? Yeah, so I'm sure you're not alone in that. Like, yeah.
Or people that had like thousands and thousands or tens of thousands of Bitcoin when it was like a
Oh
dollar,
yeah.
and then it went to $7, and they were like, I sold it all, and then it's like now
Yeah.
it's worth what, like 80 grand, 70 grand.
Yeah.
It's like you never know. You
Did you
just
ever
you
get into
just don't
Bitcoin?
know. Huh?
Did you ever get into Bitcoin and that crypto stuff?
I did. I've had like little phases with crypto and various investments. I don't really hold any crypto, to be honest. I might have a little bit of Ethereum, but I did get my entire band into Bitcoin when it was about $2,000 or $3,000.
Hmm.
So I told all my band like, hey, buy Bitcoin, and it went from 2 grand to like 20 grand really quick. So I
Oh,
made my
sick.
band some money, and then that was about it. I haven't
Yeah.
had any recent investments in any crypto.
I think I still have like $100 of Bitcoin floating around somewhere in like the imaginary crypto universe. Like, I don't even know how to get to it or access it at this point, but I think it's out there still. Like, because I never cashed
Oh
out.
yeah, that's another difficult part is these websites and apps are always changing with crypto.
Hmm.
So it's like, I got a notification like, hurry up and get your stuff out of Bittrex because we're closing down the app or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And I look and I'm like, all right, I have 20 cents in here, so I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah. But that 20 cents could turn into 20 billion in 2035 or something. Who knows,
Yeah,
man?
you're right. You're right.
Once Gene Simmons starts getting his fucking crypto bots out there touring the world, man, who knows what's gonna happen? This guy's AI Kiss
Oh,
holograms touring.
dude, AI is insane, man. I feel bad for the younger future generation because there's so many, like, AI is replacing everything. Robots are
Yeah.
replacing everything. Like, unless you're good at coding or technology, it's like, what opportunities are there for the future generations?
Oh yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, I somebody was talking about this recently. They pointed out it's so weird how like technology has changed to the point where like AI is doing all the things that humans like should be doing, like the artistic like and thinking portion where and then humans are doing the physical labor of actually delivering Amazon packages and like working in warehouses and stuff like almost like we're slaves to the AI at this point because the AI is doing all the mental work, doing all the algorithms and stuff, and the humans are the ones out there actually fucking moving boxes and shit.
No, seriously. And have you seen, there's a couple already. Have you seen the new McDonald's that have no humans in them?
No, not at all.
Bro, they
How's that
have
even work?
they have new McDonald's out there that are completely operated by robots. So
Oh
you
my
place
god.
your order, and like literally if you say no pickles or no mayo or whatever, it's spot on every time. Your order is never fucked up. You order it, the robots make your McDonald's, and it pops out the fucking window and you grab it, and that's it. And instead of having, 12, 15 employees that are incompetent and don't know what they're doing and fuck up your order, you have robots that do it perfectly, and then you have one robot technician that takes care of the robots. That's it.
Wait, there's a robot that takes care of the other robots.
No, 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 no. I'm
Oh,
saying like a human, a human.
I
I'm
thought there was
saying
like
a
a
human.
master robot that took care of the other robots. I'm like, Jesus, that's intense, dude.
No, this isn't that scary, but there
Yeah.
is like there is a human that specializes in,
Okay.
robotics that,
Yeah.
if a machine has a problem, he can fix the machine. Like at Dave and Buster's when the
Yeah.
fucking coin push machine stalls. And
Right.
like
It's got to
last
hit the
night when I was
reset
there and
button.
I had to hit up the guy and be like, yo, my shit fucked up. And he's like, I got you. And swipes all the
Yeah.
coins over and fixes the machine. It's going to be like that, but for fast food, it's going to be everything is made by robots. And then there's one super nerd that's making, I don't know, 150, 200K
Yeah.
a year to be in charge of the restaurant and all the robots in it.
Jeez, that's
Yeah.
his job to go to school for, to be the McDonald's robot lead. Like that's what you want to do now.
Yeah,
Like,
literally. You fix robots once in a while and make a fat check of money because
man.
you're smart.
Yeah, dude. Well, and yeah, like you said, like it's scary because it's so different than like anything we grew up with, as far as like the fucking Jetsons were like what we were exposed to as far as like technology in the future. And now it's like,
Yep.
yeah, people are literally like getting duped into listening to music that doesn't exist anymore, that doesn't actually like exist because it wasn't really written by a person. Like it's insane, dude.
Yeah, music is insane. Like
Yeah.
the idea of it is just insane. It's
And the
wild.
scary part is like, even like, we always joke about how like my job's like pretty much gonna be gone one day because all these radio DJs are being replaced by like AI, like DJ robots or whatever. And it's funny now because they're so hilariously bad that it's like, oh dude, that's not gonna work. Like this doesn't even sound like a real person, but it's only gonna get better. It's gonna keep getting better.
Yeah.
Like
It's only going to get better, but you can't, I don't know, you just can't take away a real human personality?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I feel like at some point people are gonna, like anything else, people are gonna want to revert back to the nostalgia. Like, no, I want a real person on the radio. I don't want this
Yeah,
fucking robot. Like,
exactly. Look at vinyls. I mean,
yeah,
I never thought in a million years growing up in the early 2000s that like people would like fucking vinyls. Now it's a
yeah,
trend. People love it. They
yeah.
like the nostalgia. They like to collect things.
That's what's funny about vinyl too, is I buy a fuck ton of vinyl, but I listen to very little vinyl because it's just so cumbersome, to get the record out and play. It's just a whole thing. I listen to
Yeah.
Spotify like 99% of the time, but yeah, I buy fucking vinyl record. It's almost like I feel like I'm buying like I don't know, a piece of memorabilia for a band I like. Instead of buying a T-shirt, I'll buy their vinyl or something.
Yeah, and it's cool because to be able to like hold something and touch something is a different
Yeah.
experience than just like clicking a button on Spotify.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It is something like it's a shame to think because I know like I'm sure you do it too, but even more so, even back in like the 70s and 80s, bands spent so much time thinking about their artwork because it was a big, giant piece of art that they were putting out there in the world. Now it's like you've got like a 500 by 500 megapixel image is even worth putting that much effort into the detail of it because who's going to see it even other than that little thumbnail.
So I tell you what, my fiance has an OG Leonard Skinner vinyl. It's that album with the plane burning right before they all
Oh,
died. And
yeah, some foreshadowing shit.
yeah, well, half of them died. Fucking rest in peace. Love Leonard
Yeah.
Skinner. But the coolest shit about it is it's still fully intact. And when you open up the vinyl, it has a slip where it basically says like, hey, we're about to go on tour, we'd love to see you at a date. And then it has a slip like, would you like to order some merch? And it's like a
Oh,
t-shirt, $9.99 for a t-shirt. Do you want
yeah.
a hat? Do you want a hoodie? And you basically like check what you want on this slip of paper in the vinyl,
Oh, no
and it's
way.
like mail your check or cash to this address and we'll
Yeah.
ship it out. And I was like, that's just so fucking cool. Like imagine having a
Yeah.
slip of paper because you bought the vinyl and you get
Hmm.
exclusive rights to get this cool merch from this slip of paper, and you just fill it out like a little scantron of what you want and send
Right.
in the correct amount of money in an envelope, and then all of a sudden you get merch. Like that's how they did it back in the
Hmm.
70s and 80s, and that's so fucking cool to me. Like the process of that transaction, like not just anyone could get those shirts and stuff. It
Right.
wasn't
It
it
really
wasn't
was
to billions of
exclusive.
people. It was cool. It was hip. It was like
Yeah.
special.
Yeah, because even a band now could do like an email pre-sale or something like that, where you get a code and you can only use this code to buy this merch or these tickets ahead of time.
Yeah.
And but still, like it's an email and it's like not. It doesn't feel personal. But yeah, when you get something physical, like you said, when you get something physical, you can hold in your hands. It just, I don't know, man. It just means so much
Just hits
more.
different.
Yeah, 100%. People won't know. People will never know.
No,
People,
no, no, no. No one will
Kids will
know.
never know what it's like to fill out a piece of paper to pick 12 CDs for 99 cents and hope they all show up one day.
Yeah, seriously. Or to buy your t-shirts and merch from a slip of paper and sending in a
Hmm.
check to a PO box.
Yeah. Just hope it shows up.
Yeah.
Speaking of buying things, another business, you have Stay Sick Clothing, which is not, pardon the pun, sick. I love the threads, love the design. So have you like always had a big passion for fashion? Because you've always been a really well dressed dude, from as far as I can tell. As back
Thank
in
you.
the history of Attila. Yeah, I admire your style. This is gonna sound super lame when I say this, but you're like a style icon for me. You're the kind of guy. I look at you, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, we got kind of similar build. I feel like I can pull off some of the stuff he wears. Like,
You're the first person that's ever said that to me, so thank
oh,
you.
really? Oh, dude, yeah, I love the way you carry yourself, and your fits are fire. God, I
Thank you.
fucking sound lame as hell, but
No, thank you. Like I appreciate that compliment.
yeah. So has that always
So
been a big
like
passion for you, though?
yeah, so I started Stay Sick in 2011. So we're 13 years deep, and it's been such a long journey. And essentially, the reason I came up with Stay Sick is because I wanted to make clothes that I wanted to wear. I didn't really start the business with the mindset of like, oh, like I just want to make money. I don't care. It was
Yeah.
like I want to make clothes that I want to wear, and whether people want to buy it or not, I don't really care. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna wear it, and if you like it and support it, great. If you don't, who gives a shit? And the first year or two that Stay Sick started, we didn't really sell anything. The sales were abysmal, but I didn't care because, like I said, I wasn't
You
really
like the
doing it
clothes, yeah.
for other people. I was doing it for me. And eventually, shit just popped off and blew the fuck up. And I think that's what I value myself with Stay Sick, especially our newest launch. I created a complete outfit where it's a matching hoodie, matching joggers, it's a beanie that matches the outfit, and then
Oh,
it's a
sick.
nice flannel, a dark gray and black flannel that kind of goes with the whole theme of the outfit as well. So I just created a complete fit head to toe, and if you like it, great, check it out. If you don't, I don't fucking care. I didn't make it for you. I made it for me, and I think
Yeah.
it's awesome. So I think that the genuine aspect of Stay Sick is what I like about it versus just being like, oh, I don't fucking like this shit. I'm just gonna make it because this is what's trending or this is what people want to buy. I think it's cooler to just make shit that you like, and if
Mm-hmm.
the world shares that vision, cool. And if they don't, that's cool too.
Yeah, I mean, it is cool because there's so many bands, and not that like everyone has to be like fucking I don't know fashionista or whatever when they're in a band, but it is kind of like lame when you see a band that like looks like they got dressed in the dark, like no one really even talked about what they were going to wear ahead of time, and it's like, oh, let's just all wear black T-shirts with the names of other better bands on them, like that kind of like, it's kind
Yeah,
of
or or uh,
meh.
or the alternate approach. Let's all just body paint our whole body black, like and black out our sleeves, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's like, come on, man, like Jesus Christ, like get some,
right,
get either like get some fucking tattoos like a real man, or just fucking dress good or whatever. Like
right.
you don't have to body paint your entire body with black paint because that's what everyone else is doing. Like, come on, let's get real here.
Yeah, like no shade against anyone that has a blackout tattoos, but like I just don't get it. I don't really understand. Like I've talked to my tattoo artist a few times about it because he does a lot of them, and he's like, I mean, it's just like it's a theme, like a trend, I guess, at this point, and like a lot of people request it. I just don't get it. Like I don't get the point of doing it. To your like, why? Like,
Yeah, so I've thought about I'm not gonna lie, I've considered doing blackout on like portions of my sleeves or portions of my tattoos. But the thing that holds me back is yeah, it looks good when it's fresh, but literally once it heals, it looks like gray and ashy.
mm-hmm,
So you look like you're just a permanently like gray, ashy, like dusty individual.
yeah,
So I don't know if like I think the blackout thing is definitely a trend. There are some tattoos that I want to black out, but I think the cooler trend is probably blastovers, where instead of getting a tattoo removed, you just blast over it with more tattoos. And I think it's like a
oh,
cool,
okay,
I think that's more of like a cooler trend because it's like, hey, I've already gotten a sleeve and I'm going to do my whole sleeve again. blast over with new tattoos. It's kind of
Yeah,
wild, but it's kind of like, imagine like the sticker wall in a venue bathroom where it's like a
yeah.
shitload of stickers and then stickers on top of the stickers. Like, I think that's kind of the newer trend coming in with tattoos when you have a lot of tattoos.
See, whenever I've seen people do that, I just assume like, oh, they just ran out of space to tattoo on their bodies, so they just started like going over again. But yeah, I even think about that aspect of it. That is kind of cool, like especially when you put in like the context of like the sticker wall. That's pretty cool because like yeah, that's seriously like you. That's dude. I would love to like. It'd be disgusting. I would need gloves, but I would love to like go to like one of those walls and pull back the stickers and like, oh, who else is under here? You know, like find the
Oh
bands from like
yeah.
the '70s that are still left over. You know, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool concept, but you know, everything changes and trends change. I know when I was younger, getting tattooed initially, like bright colors were super in. So I have some
Hmm.
stuff like early on from when I was 18 that are really bright, and I'm like, God damn it, why did I do all these bright colors? It
Oh
looks so
yeah.
fucking whack. So if anything, I might just go like darken up my tattoos, but without doing like a full like blackout thing, because I just don't like the way it looks gray and ashy.
Yeah. Again, like no shade to anyone that has the blackout tattoos. I just don't really get it. Like again, it just like because like you said, it looks like you literally just painted your arm one color. It's like I don't. And like from what I've heard from our tattoo artists, it's not actually as easy to do as you would think either. Just as far as like doing it, because it actually is like super time consuming, and like even the tattoo artist gets tired doing it after a while and stuff. So it's
Oh
like
yeah, you're just pumping in black nonstop.
yeah. So I mean, even as like silly and simple as it sounds, it's not even that easy to do apparently. So I don't, and yeah, dude, fuck, sitting there for that whole thing, like, Jesus Christ, like because you have one like kind of like detailed tattoo, it takes like 3 hours or something like that. I mean, usually by hours too. I'm like, fucking, come on, like let's go. I'm over
Oh
this, you
yeah,
know, like forget that shading, like don't even worry about it. Let's just go. Like, so I can't imagine sitting there for a blackout.
time
Uh,
consuming.
yeah, yeah. You also do you so I remember briefly you had a music magazine website or something for a minute, right?
Oh shit, I totally forgot about
What
that.
was that? That was like was it staysick.com or something, or was it something, it was something else, was it?
No, fuck, what did we call it? God damn it, I forgot the name. We did have that. Fuck, I forget that I've literally done everything.
So many businesses, man. How many
Yeah,
you've probably
I've
forgotten about more LLCs than you've started. Like
no, literally, and I have so many LLCs that I've started that I haven't even begun yet. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. That rules,
insane.
man. I love it because like I'm always constantly trying to think of like what the next step of my like evolution of my multiverse is, you know, like trying to think of like what, because like I feel like I'm like you in that aspect of like I don't want to just settle for like yeah cool things are good right now, but I want to keep that train rolling and keep those you know those rivers of pennies coming in like whenever like avenue stream, because you have to have, I feel like in this business, any kind of creative business, you have to have multiple revenue streams coming in. They can't just have, you can't rely on one thing, you know, because if one thing goes down, you're fucked. So
Of course, and that's literally story of my life. I've always had like 10 revenue streams, but the ones that used to perform the most are now performing really low, and some that used to perform low are performing way higher. So I think it's important as a musician for you to have multiple streams of revenue to where you're not just putting all your eggs in one basket, because things change very quickly, especially in the music industry.
mm-hmm.
You could be the biggest fucking band in the world, and your merch sales could be blowing up, and then within a year's span, boom, everything changes. But if you really spread out your skills and you're able to diversify, you don't really have as much of that fear or anxiety of what if something changes. you,
Yeah.
you 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 get to just kind of live a little more comfortably, and that's kind of how that's exactly how I've approached my life since I've been an adult, is just diversifying and creating multiple opportunities for myself, because firsthand I can tell everyone things change very quickly. You might make a lot of money from something, and then all that money might go away within a year. With the blink of an eye, it might all be
Mm-hmm.
gone. So being able to diversify and mix up the way you make income, especially as a musician, just ultimately provides more comfort so that you can go on tour and really not have to worry about shit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know this is probably hard to like, imagine, but let's say you're starting, you're like 21 years old you're starting a band in 2024. What would you do to make money now if you had to kind of start from fresh, like start from clean slate?
So if I were speaking to a young individual who wants to start a band, I would just hone in on a another talent that you may have. Like for example, graphic design or even being a barber or a tattoo artist, because these are all things that you could do simultaneously while touring. And I have a lot of friends that do stuff like this where it's like, hey, I'm in a lower level band. I don't make that much money, but I'm a phenomenal tattoo artist. So I bring all my tattoo equipment on tour. I book out 2 sessions a day. I make more money from that than I do from being in the fucking band. So you still
Hmm.
get to do your passion and make extra money. Or, like I said, making graphic designs. People always need t shirt designs, website design, you name it, like album designs. There's a lot of opportunity in that world. And even being a barber, like traditional skills, like half the bands in the scene, I mean, I'm bald, but half the bands in the scene need
Same.
like a fade or something.
Yeah.
So, if you know how to cut hair, like I can't tell you like how many bands on any given tour we do like need haircuts to where I hear people stressing like, fuck, I need a cut, I need a cut. So
Yeah.
if you're in a band and you have that skill to be a barber and cut hair, all of a sudden, like, you're making extra money on top of touring just because you have a skill that no one else has that you could provide. And even if you don't just cut other bands' hair on tour, you can book a couple sessions with fans at the show, and they'd be so hyped to get their hair cut by their favorite guitarist or drummer or whatever, singer. So there are multiple opportunities. I just think in this world of music where, Spotify pays like 0.004 cents, like,
Yeah.
it's you really can't bank on making a sustainable, livable income off of music alone. You really do have to have an additional talent or something that you provide to where, if your band does blow up and you're the next Bad Omens or Sleep Token, hallelujah, good for you, you're fine. But realistically, not everyone is going to hit that point. So having an additional skill or something you bring to the table is what's going to allow you to have a sustainable income to where you don't have to stress out and worry about money or paying the bills.
Yeah, dude, that is fantastic. That's a great way to look at it too, because I think like just finding anything that like is a need or a necessity for especially a band out on the road, like you said, like 6 or 7 dudes, well, like 3 to 5 dudes in a band, maybe a 3 to 5 band tour, like they're all going to need haircuts at some point during that 3 month tour. So like, yeah, finding something that like there's a gap, there's a hole, there's something that needs to be filled, and be able to fill that and make money out. And then like you said too, how cool to be like, I mean, obviously they're huge right now, but I've noticed Sebastian's like, I'm doing fucking haircuts after the show. Like, he's gonna have a line out the door if kids want to get haircuts.
Oh yeah,
So
100%.
that's amazing. Yeah, yeah, that's good advice. I think any young band, any aspiring entrepreneur really could take a good lot of info from that one for sure.
Yeah, it's just important. It's important to diversify and improve your skills. And
Yeah,
like I said, I've always maintained at least 10 sources of income. And I'll be fully honest, a lot of things that I've done in the past that did make a lot of money aren't really making shit right now. But I've always figured out ways to overcome and improvise. And ooh,
yeah,
that was a wet burp, to make things better. Like
yeah.
for example, I rent out I rent out vans and trailers to bands.
Oh, I've heard
So
about
I
that.
Yeah, so I currently own 2 vans and 2 trailers, and I own them outright, and I rent them out to bands, and I give them a way more competitive, better rate than anyone else in the rental industry when it comes to vans, trailers, etc. First of all, most places just rent out the van alone. They won't give you a trailer. I give you the van and the trailer. I don't charge you any extra fees. It's a flat rate. And every time one of my vans and trailers is rented out, I make 7,500 a month per van and trailer. So, I mean, if each van and trailer is rented out an average of 8 months a year, I think that brings it to like 120 or 140 grand a year in just regular like side income on the side. So there's always ways to like pivot and figure
Yeah.
things out. Like, trust me, like I'm a fucking degenerate. Like, if I can figure this shit out, anyone can. I think a lot of people have talents and things that they're good at that they just don't tap into or
Yeah.
utilize. So anyone can do this shit, man.
I think that's true. I think there's a lot of people that become laser focused, and I was definitely guilty of it when I was younger too. It's like you want to be in a band, like all I care about is making music. All I care about is playing music and being in a band and writing music. So it's like you become laser focused on that and don't realize that you can still do that and also have a side hustle. And it's not like a lot of people think like having something else going on is like a fallback, and then that sets you up for like, oh well, if I have this, then I'm never going to put 100% into music because I've got my fallback. It's like, no, they can work concurrently. They don't have to be. It doesn't have to be a fallback, and can literally go side by side in parallel. I think a lot of people don't realize that, especially younger
Yeah.
kids. I know I didn't.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things that you can do that work very side by side cohesively with being in a
Yeah.
band. A lot of people, I know, like my band, for example, my guitarist Chris and my bass player Kalen are full-time producers now, and they're making phenomenal music. So it's like
Yeah.
we don't even have to tour. Everyone has things that does very well for them, but it's just cool to see everyone figure out their niche and what they're passionate and what they're good at.
Yeah. Speaking of money, you were going to try to buy Warp Tour and relaunch Warp Tour. And then I remember, I think it was back in 2020, you said there was like a non compete for 3 years that prevented you from doing it. And I'm not a mathematician, but I think the 3 years are up. So is there any chance that you're going to get in on that when we were young money?
So there definitely is a massive market for it.
Hmm.
I already have, like, I've literally doodled and drawn in journals, and I have a vision board, and I know exactly how Warp Tour needs to be operated to make it work in 2024. I haven't talked to Kevin Lyman in a while.
Yeah.
The last time I talked to him, I think he recognized the resurgence of that market, and he just essentially told me that I think it made him excited about Warp Tour again, and he's not really fully ready to give up on the concept. Granted, he is getting older, and he's always busy with his family and other endeavors. But I think that he may want to like reintroduce Warp Tour, like as like a maybe like a stage on big festivals, etc.
Mm,
I haven't really seen that being implemented the past year, but I haven't talked to him in over a year, so I don't really know. But I really, 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 really did want to bring back Warp Tour. I still do. So if the opportunity presents itself, I'm 100% in. I literally know how to run Warp Tour. I can make it
hmm.
happen. I can make it successful. I know what people want from the fan side. I know what bands want on the band side. I'm literally both sides of the fence. So if given the opportunity, I would still 100% bring back Warp Tour. I will pay whatever amount, I will make it happen, and I will make it successful because this generation, all the people I know that never got to like go to Warp Tour, like severely regret it because there is just nothing like being in the hot, sweaty sun and
Oh,
seeing a shitload of your favorite bands and drinking free Monster Energy until you almost pass out. Like,
a
there's
black
just
hot
nothing
top.
like that experience. So I want people to, and go into the Trojan tent and getting free condoms, and you're
Yeah.
just like fucking 15 years old, like what the fuck, like it's the whole thing was it was great, and ticket prices obviously would need to be a little bit higher than what was it, like
Yeah.
$35.
Dude,
So
it was so cheap.
it was
For like a
dirt. It
hundred
was
bands.
Yeah, it was dirt fucking cheap, but
Yeah.
I think that there's a way to do it better. I don't think there needs to be 45 dates. I think that we could do it in 20 dates because
Hmm.
people would be more than happy to travel to Warp Tour if it was less dates. And I think just having really good bands and really good stage setup, and I think it's a knockout of the park.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, selfishly, I do 100% miss the 45 date aspect of it just because, yeah, man, it's like I've gone to a lot of festivals over the last few years and it's cool. They're always a lot of it's a great time, but it's like, yeah, you have to travel to all these festivals, get hotels and all that shit. It was so nice when Warped Tour came to Cleveland every year. I could literally just drive there and like when I was in high school, so like I
Well,
wasn't really
Cleveland's a big
partying,
city
but
and big market, so
yeah,
obviously Cleveland would be a date
yeah,
out of those 20 dates or
yeah, for sure.
25 dates.
It
But
fucking better be.
I'm just saying, like
Yeah.
from having deep talks with Kevin Lyman.
Yeah.
I mean, Las Cruces, New Mexico, Jacksonville, Florida. There was like a lot of dates that basically he would just be like, dude, I lost, 2 million today. And he would just be
Mm-hmm.
drinking a beer. And I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
what? And I'm like, did we really need to have this date then? Because like,
Yeah.
you don't need four Florida dates. You could just
Right.
do Orlando because everyone, like where I live in Orlando, we're 1 hour from Tampa,
Mm-hmm.
2 hours from Jacksonville, 3 hours from Miami. Everyone will drive. You can just have one date. You don't need some of these weird dates. Just pick centralized dates where everyone is within, like, let's just say 3 hour radius. In Midwest,
Yeah.
maybe it's a 5 hour drive. Who cares? People will drive because Warp Tour was a special experience. It's worth it. You carpool with your friends, throw down some money for gas. You're all good. Everyone has
Mm-hmm.
fun. No big deal.
Yeah, dude. Oh my. Yeah. Kids are not gonna unless you bring it back, man. Kids are not gonna understand how
I gotta
amazing
do it, man. I gotta
dude.
do it.
You
I
gotta
gotta
do
bring
it
it back for the people.
because as cool as When We Were Young Festival is, it's one fucking day in Vegas of all places. Which Vegas is cool. Vegas is great, but like dude, when I was 16 or 17 years old, there was no way my parents were gonna let me go to fucking Vegas, to see a
No,
show. Like
no,
my
fuck
only
no.
chance to see fucking Fallout Boy at an amphitheater when I was fucking 17 years old was Warp Tour. So it's like fuck man, like that yeah, you gotta bring it
Exactly.
back, man. We gotta make this happen. Is Kevin Lyman, is he involved with When We Were Young Festival? I know he does like pop-up events and stuff.
I don't know 100%, but I think he may be because I know
Yeah.
he's involved with a lot of the big festival producers in the country. Because obviously, Kevin Lyman's the goat, and he has like
Yeah.
insane experience with running these type of events.
I remember like pre-COVID, he was talking to one of my business partners about doing Warp Tour, but it was like going to be like hip hop, like a hip hop version of Warp Tour. He was talking about doing that for a minute, and like I think honestly, COVID fizzled out the idea, or maybe my business partner was full of shit. Who knows?
I
But
don't really doubt that because he
yeah,
did have a lot of hip hop artists on Warp Tour on the years that
yeah,
Attila did it because we did Warp Tour with Riff Raff and that's where me and Riff Raff became homies. And then we did Warp Tour when Waka Flocka played and Waka Flocka came on stage with Attila and sang Middle
yeah.
Fingers Up with us.
Oh no,
Like,
shit.
boom, bucket list moment, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it had like Eminem on there and a lot of yeah, like I know
Katy
Katy Perry was
Perry,
on
you
there.
name it.
Yeah.
Pop stars, rap stars, like he's done it all, you know? It's kind of hard to top that.
Yeah, yeah, he's had his hands in a little bit of everything. So when it comes to businesses for you, I'll try to get out this money topic, but I'm very interested in this aspect of your career.
Yeah.
Um, how do you know when it's time to kind of cut your losses and run on a business, and how do you know when it's time to just like fuck it, I have faith, like let's double down on this? Because I know like for me, especially like the whole sunken cost fallacy is a big thing. It's like well, I've put so much time into it, I got to see it through. But then sometimes you got to be like, okay, it's done. Like let's just move on.
Yeah.
Like
So I haven't really had a business that's been kind of in the middle. I've either had things succeed a lot or not at all. So I'll give you two examples. Back in probably 2015-ish, I created my own social media app called Spur. And
oh
when
shit, I didn't know that.
yeah. So essentially, the concept of my app, to summarize it, it was a social media app where there were no filters, no editing. You had to snap a photo from the app in real time, and there were no
Oh,
comments and there were no dislikes. It was just you can upvote and that's it. So it was kind of it was an app focused around positivity and living in the moment, and the app did very well. We acquired I think over 50,000 users really quickly. And then what I spent personally like $30,000 or more of my own money creating this app. And we were on a really good trajectory. And then I realized I bit off way more than I can chew. And at the same time, I think the bigger apps like Instagram started taking a lot of my ideas and
mm,
implementing it. So they kind
yeah,
of essentially pushed me out. So I had to hang it up and just take down the app and call it an L. And I took a $30,000 loss on that. So it sucks, but it was a $30,000 learning experience because I became
Hmm.
wiser and smarter as a result of it. But other than that, most of my companies have only done really well for me. And if they're not like blowing up, they're at least profitable to where I don't have to worry about shutting anything down.
Yeah, and it's like almost becomes passive at certain points for some of those companies, I'm sure.
It's
Like,
passive, even if it's
yeah,
small, it's passive. But you know, yeah, you're right. If you're running a business where you're putting a lot of money into it and not seeing returns, like yeah, you might want to throw in the towel and get a nice tax write-off and start up with a new
yeah,
idea. But
right.
overall, I've only really had one big failure, and that was my social media app I made.
Damn, yeah, yeah. Because I feel like there was another app that fizzled out that was called like Be Now or something, or Be Real. It was kind of like a similar concept. That came after you though, because that was like 2 or 3
Yeah,
years ago, I think. So
very very similar. And I even used that app for a little bit, but it was just like I feel like it's kind of like Threads. Like people kind of popped off on
yeah.
Threads that first week, and now I don't really see anyone using Threads, to be honest.
No, it was a great idea. The really smart thing they did was importing all your followers over to Threads. So if you had a ton of followers on Instagram, you started with a ton of followers on Threads, which was great.
Exactly. That
But
was
then
great for
like,
me.
yeah, oh yeah, same, yeah. But then there was no engagement. You'd post something on Threads and like you get like 10 likes out of your 10,000 followers or whatever. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, because no one's on
Yeah.
there. No one's paying attention.
Good
So,
concept. I just think if they really wanted to do that app in attempt of taking over Twitter or X or whatever, I think that they
yeah.
should have kind of thought that out more and put a little bit more emphasis into it. Because you know damn well, like Instagram, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, they have unlimited pockets. So if they really want Threads to
Yeah.
succeed, they could dump more money into it. Like they
Oh
can do
yeah.
incentives, like paid threads. Like imagine like you get a fucking dollar for every 100 likes on threads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they have the
Mm-hmm.
money to do that. That's a drop in the bucket for them. Like if they really want their shit to pop off, they need to give big incentives to people to move to their app. It's very cutthroat and they could do it, but I think they just wanted it to work like organically and it's not really popping off.
No, they
So
kind of just crapped it out. Like, here you go, here's the new app. And like that's a
yeah,
big problem across the board. These social media companies is they do not do enough work to incentivize their creators to create content. Like they expect all these people to create content for free, which a lot of, of course, like that's what's you for. You're supposed to watch other people's stuff, create stuff. But it's like then like these platforms want you to create really high quality content or they're not going to push it out there. But it's like you're expecting all these creators to make high quality content and not reward them for it other than giving them views. You gotta incentivize these people to want to actually make you pay your pay because like if this content isn't there, you don't have people on the platform to begin with watching it. I go
dude,
through this
that's
shit with TikTok where like I'm in like this program where they pay me for a certain amount of views I get on my videos and stuff, and like I get stuff demonetized all the time. I post a clip of my podcast, like a clip from this, and it will get demonetized, and it'll say it's not original content that I'm uploading someone else's content. I'm like, dude, it's a clip of me talking to another person. How is this not? And like they don't. I can't even talk to a real person at TikTok. I get automated things like our decision's final. We're not gonna fucking reverse it. It's like what the fuck? It's me. Like, what are you talking
yeah,
about?
their
Like,
support system is dog shit.
yeah. And
And
then
a lot of
Instagram doesn't even pay you at all. Instagram doesn't even have that option. I remember Instagram had I'm sorry, getting all riled up now because it's pissing me off. But
bonus plays,
yeah, remember they had those bonus plays for like six
they're
months, and
gone.
then they just took them away, and their bullshit excuse was like, we're doing this because we're gonna revamp the system and come up with a better way to pay our creators. It's like cool. Until you do that, how would you keep the original one in place so people are getting paid? Like what the fuck, man?
Yeah, exactly. Because we, like Attila, myself, like we would post reels and be like, "Oh shit, I made $100. Cool, fuck
Yeah.
yeah, like sweet." And then it was like, "Oh wait, where the fuck did all this go? Like, why would they stop it?"
Yeah,
I think it's
just
because
cut
they
it
got
out.
what they wanted and they made an excuse. Because now people are going to continue to use reels.
Right.
So I think it's just a bunch of bullshit, to be honest.
Yeah, they exactly they pull you in with the incentives and they get you going and then you're making and then once they take it away, you're not going to stop making the content because you're that's
You're
what you do
already in
now. You're
there.
a content creator.
Yep.
Like- so dude, switching gears here. What inspired this new Attila sound? Because gotta say, like I said, I've been a big follower of you for a while. I've loved your shit. I love just your whole vibe is fucking awesome, and I love Attila's music. But for me, I've always liked a little bit. I have to have some clean singing in my music. I don't like straight screaming the whole time. So when you
Yeah.
started doing this new Attila sound, I was like everything. All you checked all the boxes. I was like, oh fuck, now I'm 100% invested. Like I'm on board here, and
Thank you.
I like to think you did it just for me. But other than that, what inspired this change in the sound?
So the inspiration behind Attila's change had a multitude of factors. So I would say the biggest thing is we're all growing. We're all adults now. We're in our
Mm-hmm.
30s. The thing about Attila is we've always been genuine about our lyrical content and the things we talk about. But it's like I have three fucking kids right now. Like my life isn't just sex, drugs, rock and roll, fucking bitches. Like my life
Right.
is very different. Same with the rest of my band. And also we wanted to change our sound to grow alongside with our fans because our fans that they used to be like rebellious teenagers at Warp Tour, like
Yeah.
doing cocaine in the porter potty type shit. Now they're
Right.
also grown up and
Mm-hmm.
they have families, and it's like like our music overall in the past, especially like about that life era, was very abrasive, offensive, edgy, and that's true to the people we were at that time, and it was true to our fan base at that time. But now we are all grown, we are more mature, and so are our fans. So we kind of reached a point where it was like we're still going to stay true to ourselves no matter what, but if we don't grow with our fans, then what do our fans have? Because
Yeah.
we could still like I can still push out like edgy fucked up shit left and right because I just have a really like fucked up brain, but it doesn't really feel genuine to me, and it doesn't feel genuine for our fans. So we essentially wanted to grow with our fan base, and that's why the new Attila is the sound that it is. It's just genuine for who we are and who our fans are, and I think the response has been amazing. We've gotten a lot of love from Octane and Liquid Metal on our new music, and our fans are reacting amazing. Attila has more monthly listeners than we've ever had in our lives on Spotify.
Nice.
And as of the past year, our tour date, like our touring attendance numbers are going up a lot higher. So it's just everything is we took a risk by kind of switching things up, but we didn't switch it up in a way that was inauthentic, because when you hear the new Attila songs, it's still Attila. Like,
Yeah.
the vibe is still very much Attila, but it's Matilla. It's Attila
Matilda.
matured.
Yeah.
It's Attila grown up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head too. Like you, once you get older, there's certain things that just like feel kind of weird to sing about. Like no one wants to hear Vince Neil sing about getting a blowjob behind a dumpster at this point in his life. It's like, oh, come on, dude. Like you're,
Yeah, like you're old now. Like, get a
yeah,
grip, dude. Like,
yeah,
no one is ever gonna give you a blowjob behind a dumpster. Like, get
right.
right.
Yeah, no, I love. Yeah, like I said, like it doesn't sound inauthentic. It's not like you guys went straight fucking radio rock or anything like that. Like it's still heavy. It's still got riffs. It's still crunchy. You're still screaming too. It's not like you just
Oh
cut out
yeah,
the screaming or anything like that. It's just like it's got more melody. It's got more hooks. And for me personally, like I love to be able. I can connect to it more, and I think that's why your fans are growing more, and you're seeing these changes in the
agreed.
venues and the streams, because like it's. I think like no matter what anyone says, I think like as much as like you can love screaming music, like when you can actually like when there's like words that you can like hear. I mean, not that you can't hear the screaming, but like you can relate, you can connect to it a little bit more when it's like
Not
when it's
everyone
actual
can
words.
scream, but everyone can attempt to sing a melody. So having a
Yeah,
whole crowd singing a melody of a chorus is way more rewarding than having a whole crowd go like, you know, "Oh, oh." Like, you
Yeah,
know,
what happens at when you're playing the heavier shows where it's just straight deathcore? Do people in the audience like try to deathcore along with you, like growl and scream with you?
you get fish mouth. We call it fish mouth as band members, and that's when you're playing like a super heavy song. Like for us, it would be like Proving Grounds or 3-6, and you've got people in the front row, and they do fish mouth where they're like they don't know what they're singing. They're just moving their mouth, thinking that
Yeah,
it's making us happy when we really don't fucking like
right.
it's embarrassing. Like if you don't know the words, don't just move your mouth like a fish.
Yeah,
Just enjoy the show. You don't
just
have to
enjoy.
pretend you know the lyrics because
Yeah,
it's a fast screaming part. Just chill out, like relax.
that must be why moshing is so much more prevalent in like deathcore shows too, because like they don't know the words, so they can't sing along. So they're like, "Fuck it, I gotta do something. I gotta move my body."
Yeah, you got to do something.
Yeah.
Just don't be the person in the front row fish mouthing. Like when the singer is singing, don't go like you don't know what they're saying. Just
Like
bite
a
the bullet.
guppy,
Shut up.
just bubbling at the water for Fronz. Like, come on, feed me. Tosses the jaws out there, dude. That's fucking. That's amazing. Do people have you noticed has moshing changed a lot over the last, I would say, even 5 years or so at shows? Like, do you feel like moshing isn't as much of a thing as it was in the years prior, or do people still go pretty hard?
I would say, at least for Attila, moshing is only gotten crazier and crazier. However, I would say that moshing over the years has evolved. Me as someone who grew up going to DIY hardcore shows in fucking like abandoned warehouses, that type of moshing was very violent. Like it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like look at me dance. It was like I'm here to inflict violence upon every single person here. And it used to, I think moshing used to be in the early 2000s at least a lot more violent, whereas now flash forward to 2024, moshing is a trend. Like
Mm-hmm.
everyone wants to be in a wall of death. Everyone wants to
Right.
be in a circle pit. Everyone can mosh gently. I mean, with the exception of some bands, obviously there are some bands that are very violent. But for the most part, like when you're talking about these like bigger realm of bands right now, I would say moshing is more like safe than it's ever been,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more prevalent. Whereas like I mean, I was a big fucking dude growing up going to these hardcore shows, but I knew that if I went in the mosh pit, my life was at risk and I got concussions.
Yeah.
I was in a brace war pit, this hardcore band from Virginia. I was in a brace war pit during the very first intro song and got a concussion and I don't remember anything. That's what you expected if you got in the pit in the early 2000s was violence, but now it's kind of safe for everyone. It's,
Yeah.
inclusive, men, women, everyone, all ages. And so I would say moshing is bigger than ever before, but it's a little bit softer than ever before overall as far as the entire scene goes.
Yeah, because
Like
I
I'm not
remember.
scared. If I was in a motionless and white mosh pit, I would not be scared.
Yeah, yeah,
Me growing up, I was
yeah.
scared because I knew I was going to get killed and people had knives in their pockets. You can go in a fucking Bad Omens mosh pit or a motionless and white, and you don't have to fear for your life. You're fine.
Right. You can just kind of bump and grind a little bit.
You're good.
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember like growing up, like kind of part of their concert culture was like moshing and banging into people, and like even the whole like just like driving your way up to the front, like pushing your way to try to get to the front of the audience. Like that was just kind of like what you dealt. You dealt with people doing that, and now it's like if you do that at a show, like you're getting filmed and you're getting put on TikTok or they're trying to like notify the singer like, hey, kick this person out, like they're being disruptive at the show. Like even like I recently, I mean it was probably 6 months ago, but I remember Paramore stopped a show and Haley Williams kicked two people out because they were like trying to push the way to the front. It's like damn, dude, you kick somebody out for that? Like, just send them to the back of the room or something.
Whack.
You know?
Unless
Yeah,
unless someone is literally like laid out unconscious, I will never stop a show. If
right.
people are like, "Oh, these people are fighting," like stop the show, stop the show. No, like fuck you. We're not stopping the show. I don't care if people are fighting. Who gives a
Yeah.
shit? People fight all the time. Like you guys are in a different generation than me, bro, cuz people used to fight all the time. Let them fight. Who cares? Like it's like hockey. Like let the players fight. Fuck it. Who cares? Continue the show.
Let
I'm
them
not
work
going to
their shit
stop in the
out.
middle of the song cuz two people have pit beef. Who gives a shit? Let them
Right.
fight. If someone's actually hurt, yeah, we'll stop the show and get
Mm-hmm.
them like medical attendance, but I mean, get real here. Like, people just got a lot softer.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you're not gonna stop the show if like someone like steps on someone's shoe or like, dude, I've seen people take legitimate pisses in a mosh pit before, and like they don't stop the show. You know, like
Yeah, who gives a
someone's
shit?
yeah, someone's really taking a piss, and like, nah, we'll keep going. We'll mosh around the piss. It'll be fine.
Yeah, don't slip.
Yeah. So, dude, I'm gonna take partial credit here for ending the feud between you and Buddy Nielsen from Census Fail because I had Buddy on my podcast and it
I
actually worked
remember.
out. Oh, you saw that? Okay.
Of
So
course.
you were actually in town the same night. You and Census Fail were both playing in Cleveland. So I actually had already set my schedule up with Buddy, and I was like, "Fuck!" And I found out you were coming, so I would love to just jet over and see you guys, but it didn't work out that way. So yeah, I brought it up in the interview. I'm like, oh, dude, you know, Fronz is like right down the street playing a show. I was like, oh no shit. And I'm like, how are you guys doing here? You know, you guys still beefing? And he's, yeah, apparently you guys are all good. You guys settled the beef on his end. And then I saw you said something on another podcast that you're good on that end. So
On Garza's, yeah.
yeah, I'm taking credit. I ended the beef with Franz and Buddy.
I know. Instead of causing drama, you caused peace. Look at
That's
that.
what I
Who would have
do.
known?
You know, people
Who
call
would
me
have
the
known?
TMZ of the zine, but I think I'm a peacekeeper, man.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And like I said on the Garza podcast, etc. Literally, if I had to pick one band when I was like, like 12, 13 years old growing up that I listened to religiously that kind of inspired me, as so to speak, it would be Census Fail. And I
Mhm.
always loved the work that Buddy did. And I was severely upset and disappointed when I met him on Warped Tour for the first time because he was very abrasive and he essentially was very mean and rude the entire tour. And I know that jealousy was probably like a big factor because, which I don't feel those type of emotions because to me, I'm like, I love your band and I love what you do. But I think, like, in his perspective, he was playing in front of, 30 people a day on Warped, and we were on main stage playing in front of 25,000 a day. So he
Yeah.
just felt some kind of bitter way because I have a harsh choice in words in my songs and I'm very offensive. And this is in the middle of his like PC, like politically correct movement. So I think I was kind of like the antichrist to him at the time. But the fact is like in my heart, I loved him. And I
Mhm.
think he felt very upset. And maybe he's had time to digest those feelings and he doesn't feel very upset anymore. But I personally just don't hold grudges with anyone. And I don't have a negative bone in my body. So I just don't feel any negativity towards him or anyone at all. It's just, it's too consuming in your brain to have all these negative feelings towards people when you could just be happy and fucking forget about it. Like if you don't like someone or you don't like what someone says, literally just ignore it. And you're going to
Yeah.
be so much happier than like dwelling on hatred.
Yeah, I remember when you guys were beefing, like it felt like mom and dad were fighting. I'm like, come on, guys, like,
Come on, man.
can we all just get along?
Yeah,
Do you have
it got
what
pretty
was that?
brutal, man.
Oh
It,
yeah,
it got
yeah.
it got pretty brutal. Like during Warped Tour, it got pretty brutal, man. Like Kevin Lyman had to have like meetings with him and I, and you know, it was pretty
Had to
confrontational, and
separate you guys.
yeah, man, it got pretty wild at some points during those days. But it's it is what it is, and I think we've all like grown on and moved past and moved forward. And funny enough, my band actually produced one of the newest Census Fail songs. So there you go. We're all
Wait, your band produced one of the new Sense of Fail songs?
Yeah, Chris Link, my guitarist, he's one of the main producers on one of the new Census Fail songs.
Oh, what a full circle moment, man. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe Chris helped him end that beef then. I don't know. I'm still taking credit. Fuck it.
You can take the credit. You
Yeah.
take it.
I have a podcast. I'm taking the credit. Do you have this is a weird question, but do you have a favorite feud or beef? Like one that's like been super fun or profitable maybe?
Oh man. I mean, how many beefs have I had if you think about it? I know Ronnie Radke is an obvious one.
Yeah.
Shit. I don't know. How many people have I beef with? I forgot. I know Census Fail, Ronnie Radke. Was there anybody else?
I thought there were. Yeah, I thought there was. Well, you had the call out song, and you had a few people you called on that track and that song.
Oh,
I don't know
of
if anyone
course.
else got mad or not. Yeah, the Ronnie beef was funny too because that was like dead and buried. It seemed like for like 10 years or something, and then like he brought it up when you guys were playing like a festival or something.
We were on Shiprock together and he
That's what
brought
it
it
was.
up and I was like, dude, I was fucking asleep when you called me out. What the fuck? But I mean, I will say this. Even though Ronnie Radke is fully covered in blackout tattoos and identifies as black now, I will say that he is very smart with his marketing tactics. He knows what he's doing, and whether he's causing beef with me or Sangui Sugabog, it all works in his favor, and people feed into it, and he has nothing to lose. I personally have nothing but respect for him because he's created music that's different than other people and in the scene that are relevant now. And he's been able to explode Falling in Reverse to a level unlike any other. So, it just goes to show it doesn't matter if you fucking love or hate the guy. He's the one pushing numbers. He's making shit happen, and he could give a fuck less what you think about him or his opinions.
Yeah.
So I think in a lot of ways, me and Ronnie butt heads in kind of like a brotherly love type of way because we're very similar people. We push buttons. We don't give a fuck what people think about us. But we're in our own lane and we're successful, so we don't really have anything to lose by being ourselves. So I do respect him, but it's kind of funny because most of my interactions with him involve some kind of beef. Like, I got thrown under. I caught a stray bullet the other day on Twitter from him saying like one of the fucking dudes looks like me and Sanguisuga Bob.
Oh yeah,
and he's calling them all. Yeah,
I forgot
so
about that.
I'm
Yeah, I
like,
saw that. Like, why is he bringing Fronz in this?
yeah, like why? Like I'm just literally I'm that like 50 Cent meme or whatever meme where the guy's like, why the fuck did you mention my name? Like, why did I have to catch a stray bullet? Like I'm just back here grabbing my groceries and I caught a stray bullet for no fucking reason. But Ronnie Radke is smart with his marketing and he's smart in the way that he pushes buttons because look at it. He says whatever the fuck he wants and he's number one trending on Twitter. So at the end of the day, love him or hate him, he's causing shit, He might have cringy blackout tattoos, but he's taken over the world and, now apparently he has the N-word pass, so he's gonna say it.
Yeah, what's that band? Zazaphone or Zazaboog? What the fuck is the band's beefing with?
Sangui Sugabog.
Segui, fuck, that is a tough name, man. That's a tough name to have.
Sugabog.
Segu Sugabog. That whole interaction made me think like if he could literally find a band that he like legitimately loves and like wants to like shepherd and like become like and like maybe invest in and become like their like benefactor.
Start a label.
He could do that, but he could like secretly do it and then like but beef with them on Twitter and tell them he's gonna kick their ass and like show up at a show and like make that a whole thing. Cause like, dude, I've never heard again, dude, fucking Zang Bob. What the fuck is it?
Stanky Sugabog.
Never heard this band before ever, and now it's like, yeah. And every time I see those words, because I'm never going to remember how to say it. But every time I see those words, I'm always going to remember them because of this whole interaction with Ronnie Radke. Like he could find a band and secretly be like, "Yo, I want to help you guys." I'm gonna pretend to fight you. I'm gonna put you on the map.
Yeah, I mean, planning it in advance would be genius.
Yeah.
But for that for Sanguisugabog, they got more attention and press than they've ever gotten. So
Oh yeah.
I don't think either parties lost that one. They both,
No, not at all.
this underground death metal band that's becoming really popular got a ton of attention and exposure from it. I was just talking to my friend Harry, the singer of Body Box, about it because he's in the same scene, and they caught a lot of exposure from it, and Ronnie is the trending on the internet again.
Oh
So
yeah.
everyone wins, and it
Like,
all
could you
starts.
imagine if he like was like he's like, yeah, we're gonna fight. Let's book a show together. We're gonna fight at this show, and then it turns into a tour, and then it turns out the band's just opening for Fall in Reverse, and like it just becomes like a
Oh,
whole thing. Like,
dude,
dude,
genius,
genius,
genius.
man. I really hope that's what's happening. I don't think that's what's happening, but I really hope that's what's happening.
Same, same.
All right, man. I know we gotta get rolling here. We've been at it for a minute, but I want to end with well, I got a couple fan questions if you have a minute to
Yeah,
go
I
through
do.
these.
Actually, can I take a quick pisser?
Yeah, yeah, you're good.
I'll just leave it on live.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
should I walk away?
Well, you can piss in the bottle if you need to, man. Whatever you need.
Oh, just like in the tour van days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh no, I just
Yeah,
have
this
to.
is
I have to piss like a racehorse.
you're good, man. We got exclusive behind the scenes content with Fronz. You can answer the questions while you're pissing if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, do you still eat sushi? Someone wants to know. I don't know what the background is to that. I feel like there's a story to that.
Shit. Okay. So,
Love the aesthetic of the piss in the background.
yes, I still eat sushi. I love sushi. I eat sushi very frequently. Um, I know what the context is. So, I almost died in 2011. I almost died from salmonella poisoning.
Oh Jesus!
So, yeah, so basically, I ate some sushi. I got two spicy tuna rolls in New Orleans, and the sushi was contaminated because the factory that had the sushi was basically they didn't refrigerate the raw tuna, so there was rats on it and rat poop in the tuna.
Oh
So
God!
I ate. I didn't just eat one roll. I ate two, and I had salmonella. And I tell you what, you will never feel like a worse pain in your life than getting salmonella because it does feel like you're gonna die and pass away. But the worst part about it is that I went to the ER. So I got rushed to the emergency room, and they misdiagnosed me. So when I went to the emergency room for this salmonella that I had, they misdiagnosed me. They thought it was something else. Gave me some pills. They didn't obviously help me. So I continued the tour for a full month with full blown salmonella and almost passed away and
Jesus!
died. And at the very end, someone on Twitter was like, hey, have you ever thought maybe you have salmonella? Because there's a big outbreak right now from people that ate like tuna rolls. And I was like, that's
Oh
what I
my
fucking ate.
God!
Like, that's what I fucking ate like the day before I started
Ugh.
dying.
Yeah, I love
So
you got diagnosed on Twitter.
but the yeah, no, it helped me because I was like, holy shit. And then I became part of a class action lawsuit. If you look it up, I was on the front of MSNBC News. I was on the front page, and it says heavy metal singer slammed by salmonella sushi, and it's a photo of me singing. It's pretty funny, but long story short, I got involved in a lawsuit, and a lot of people, the big rumor is that that's how I became rich. But I will put it this way: the amount of money that I got from that lawsuit is not enough money to pay my bills or buy a car or anything. It was a small
Yeah.
amount, but it
I
was
was just say, anyone that's seen like a class action lawsuit, you're not fucking bankrolling after that.
no. But yeah, I do still eat sushi and I love it. However, I'm more careful about where I get my sushi. Like if I'm in the hood in New Orleans again, I probably won't buy sushi.
Yeah, no vending machine sushi for you, man. Stay away
No,
from that
no more.
shit.
No more.
Oh, fuck. All right, shit, I actually didn't realize what time it is. I got to roll, unfortunately. But dude, it's been fucking awesome talking to you. Do you have any last minute plugs before we get out of here?
I would just say Attila is doing a world tour with Born of Osiris. We're both co-headlining. We're going to Europe in March, and then in April, May, we're going to be touring all across the USA with Attila, Born of Osiris, Extortionist, fucking Traders, and Not Enough Space. And it's going to be a killer tour. And also, please check out Jaws Gum. It's on Amazon,
Yes.
and you get free 1 day delivery. It's phenomenal. And that's about it. Just
Do we have a new Attila album in the future, near future?
we're actually about to get 2 new Attila songs within a fucking week or two. And
Okay.
the new Attila album will be out 2024. So expect a brand new Attila full length album at the end of 2024, probably fall, and expect a lot of good singles. We have a brand new single coming out with Will Ramos. We have a brand new single coming out with Dickie Allen. And also, another side note, Bone Crew, my side project, just released an EP 1 week ago, and it's
Oh
called
shit.
Three, like Three. So check that out. It's dope. If you like rap and metal, you're gonna love it. It's
Fuck
like
yeah.
it's like Drake meets fucking Bring Me the Horizon meets Issues, or
Hell
like
yeah.
it's like Drake meets like Lorna Shore sometimes. It's crazy.
It sounds sexy. Where's the best place for everyone to connect with you on socials?
Best place to connect with me is probably, I would say, Instagram or the X app. And
Nice.
I'm on everything though. So
And you're
you name it,
Franzilla
I'm there.
across the board, right?
Yep, Fronzilla across the board. Check me out. I'm always there, and I'm pretty responsive with fans and stuff. So
Hell yeah. Well, dude, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. Everyone listening, please, please, if you enjoyed this conversation, or even if you hated it, you should still give it a thumbs up or like or follow, subscribe, whatever fucking platform you're listening on right now. And also make sure to share this with somebody that doesn't suck. All right. Take it easy now, and bye bye.